I saw God today. More importantly, or more precisely, Jesus. I saw Jesus today. Now, usually, when I see God, universe, spirit, source, whatever computes in your brain, usually when I see it, or it is presented to me, I see it through familiar faces. I see family, I see friends, people that have passed that I know, like familiar faces. That's how God shows himself to me. That's how universe shows themselves to me. And today, he said, enough was enough was enough. And he showed himself to me. And I am still coming down from that, because how do you tell people that without sounding woo-woo, without sounding crazy, without people, and I'm like, it don't matter. I'm here. I have a purpose to fulfill. I have a purpose to fulfill. I didn't choose it. I was bestowed it. It was bestowed upon me. It was placed on my shoulders, on my heart to do. But here's the funny part. Here's the irony. So, well, yeah. I come from a line. Ooh, this is a lot to accept and acknowledge and publicly admit, but I'm doing it. So, I come from a line of Christian and witches, like Christians and witches. It's just where I come from. I am not a witch, though. I'm not a witch. For the longest time, I thought I was. And I thought that that's what I had to do. Well, when you are raised on spiritual abuse, religious abuse, all that, you kind of got to find your own way to figure out what works, what don't work, things like that. So, I went down that path for a while. I did. I went down the pagan path. And what worked for me were cards. Obviously, I had dabbled with some boards before, but I do not dabble with them anymore. No. So I was just sticking to my cards, because I was like, okay, this is small, it's simple, I can stay connected to the light. Okay, cool. Well, I also have other abilities and things like that too, like smell, sight, sound, things like that. So last night I'm chilling before bed, just watching TV, whatever. I get this smell. And I'm like, I know that smell. And absolutely not. What are you doing? So I get up, I follow the smell. I see where the smell starts, where it stops, where it fades, where it doesn't touch, where it does touch. I'm like, okay, I know who this is. No, we ain't doing this. So, meh, I block that out, do my things, and go to bed. I get up this morning, take the kid to school, get back home. I'm like, okay, today's going to be a nice relaxing day. We're going to rest, we're going to relax, we're going to take care of our bodies. Okay, no big deal. I can take care of my body. Okay. That's one of the things I'm learning to rest without earning it. I deserve to have rest. I don't have to earn it. So I get this pull, and I'm like, okay, fine. I will sit down and I will have this conversation with the sperm donor, because it was my father. It's my father. There is no other smell that smells like that. Now, the brother has a similar smell, but it's a little bit different. It's a little more clean, whereas the sperm donor's smell is a little more musky, more body odor with the smell. So I know the difference. So I say, fine, sit down. I pull my cards out. I'll ask you some questions, but I need certain people in my background to make sure that you're not up to something. Cool. So I called in my papa, called in my uncle, and I called in a distant uncle, just to be on the safe side, just to be on the safe side. So I get done with all of that and get the information that I needed, whatever, and I close that out. I put it up. I'm like, whatever. I get ready to turn on the TV, because I'm like, hey, we're going to rest, we're going to relax, we're going to watch some TV. And as I look at the TV, getting ready to turn it on, I see a face. in the TV. And I'm like, what the? And I look behind me. I'm like, it's just a bookshelf. It is just my bookshelf. No, it's a face. And the more I look at it, the more the face comes in fully and clear. And I'm like, I know that face. I know that face. Is this real? And as soon as I say that, just the slightest of, he would do this, he would do this, he would point in certain directions. And I was like, because like at first it was odd. It was weird. It was weird because I was like, what? Usually it's not. So I did some research and I talked to my mama. I was like, hey, I can talk to you about this crazy stuff. I'm going to tell her. Maybe she'll have some insight. And I figured it out. Oh my gosh, did I figure it out. I don't need my cards. That's a tool that I don't need anymore. I don't need them. They worked for a while. They helped me when I needed it. But now I don't need them. Because now I know. Like there's no guessing. There is no nothing. There's no doubt. There's nothing. Like he came to me himself. And I was like, I did some research like my mama told me to do. And I was like, okay, cool beans. I'm supposed to have an intimate face-to-face relationship. I didn't choose myself. I was chosen. I'm just the vessel. And one of the things that I had to remember about this whole thing, Jesus flipped tables too. Jesus stirred the pot when it needed to be done. The wrath of God. Yeah. When you mess with the chosen ones, when you mess with God's children, of course you're going to be punished. Of course you're going to be punished. What do you mean? My egg donor was like, well, it does say in the Bible that the daughter was going to bring the end of times. Yeah. And in this situation, I did bring the end of times. I brought the end to the toxicity, to the narcissism, to the disgusting behaviors and habits of the people that I was related to. People are like, oh, you're talking shit and you're smearing, you're doing a smear campaign. I'm just telling my story. Not once have I told a secret. Not once have I talked shit. I have been speaking truth. This is what happened to me. I saw that this happened to them. This and this and this and this and this and this and this. What do you mean? You just get mad because I'm speaking the truth? I'm literally doing what Spirit is telling me to do. Literally doing what Spirit is telling me to do. And people are going to come at me going like, oh, well, who gave you the authority? God! There is no other way for me to explain that. And for me to tell someone, how do you know? God. That is the only way I know how to explain it. That is the only reason I would even know what I know. So, I'm just sitting over here reeling in this information. Because, like, I had finally come to the acceptance that, okay, I was a miracle. I was a miracle delivered to my relatives. And of course, like any other miracle or blessing, they fumble it. And they don't know how to take care of a blessing that's been given to them. Of course, I was made to be the scapegoat. Of course, I was sacrificed. Like... and I still survived. Please explain to me how that is in any other way than spiritual. I'm divinely protected. I'm divinely guided. I'm literally just helping other people acknowledge and accept their truth and their reality. If you think that by me telling my story is talking shit, well, take it up with God, because I'm literally just doing what he's telling me to do. I'm literally just following what is being placed on my heart and placed on my soul. If you see it in any other way than that, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you're probably one of the toxic ones that needs a little more growth, a little more healing, and a little more inner work. I only do this and I only tell this because I got out. I was delivered from that evil. I was redeemed. That's who I am. That's who I was. I'm not here to say that I am some perfect being. I'm not. I am far from perfect. Far from perfect. But what I do is I own up to it. I use it as a learning tool, as a teaching tool, to let anyone know that it is never too late. You can always turn around. You can always change direction. You can always do better. You can always change your behavior. If you are stuck in the mindset of, oh, that's just who I am, you are toxic as fuck and you need help. Fix yourself. Because no one is stuck as they are. If you are stuck like you are year after year after year after year, you need to work on yourself. If you are doing the right thing and you are following the path and you keep going forward, you're still going to change. You're still going to get better. You're never going to stay the same. Are there certain aspects of ourselves that are going to stay the same? Absolutely. Absolutely they will. But not all of it. We all have toxic traits. We all have things to get better at, to work on. I'm not here to condemn anybody, but I will hold a motherfucker accountable. I will hold a motherfucker accountable. Especially if you come to me or my child. Because the one thing I have learned from God, Spirit, Universe, and Source is that you do not play with the children. Leave the children out of it. Do not fuck with God's child. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter where they're from. Don't mess with God's children. And how many times did I hear preached from the pulpit out of the mouth of my sperm donor how children aren't even really our children. They're a blessing from God and we should treat them as such. But he couldn't follow his own preachings. He couldn't follow his own teachings. That's what I grew up in. I grew up in the, I will say this, but I will do that. And I grew up on do as I say, not as I do. The double standard, the narcissism. So when I speak from experience. I've been through it. I lived in it. I was birthed into it. I don't think I'm better than nobody. Not a single person. But if God has chosen me to do something and to follow a path and a purpose, I'm going to follow it. If you don't like it, I don't care. It is not your path. It is not your journey. It is mine. And if you aren't here to support me and you aren't here to get better and to grow and to move forward in the world, then go away. Just go away. You have that willpower. We are all blessed with willpower. Willpower. I am not one to be messed with. And I know that to be true. I am hood and holy. God has allowed that to happen. Because even Jesus flipped tables. I love you. Love yourself. And accept your truth. You got this.